-8 degrees outside and it's a little bit of windy, so these are normal conditions for the places that I live. I'm out on the fields, as you can see, and I'm exploring this place to try and capture the simplicity that winter offers in landscape photography, because the snow covers all sorts of elements from the landscape and it offers you, the landscape photographer, the chance of seeing the landscape in a simple way. I think it's a perfect moment when you can say that winter is perfect for minimalistic photography. What I'm going to do is try to capture simple frames, and a very important aspect when you decide on this type of composition is the format of the photo, of the final image, and by that I mean the proportion. It's 1:1, 4:5, 4:3, whatever. But it's a very important aspect because many times this type of compositions work well in 1:1 format, and if you go for the 1:1, then you also need to think about when you frame the shot, because usually your screen on your camera is going to be 4:5 or 4:3, so you need to be aware of these things ahead of time, because you'll need to crop your photos and you need space to do that. I'll grab both of my tripods and let's go. Very slippery over here. It's an isolated place. I really like photographing in isolated places where there are no other people to bother me with being inside my shot. Last time I raised the drone, I had problems with the battery because of the cold. The battery drained very quickly, but now I'm bringing this thermo isolated pouch. It's a thing where we used to keep the milk for my little Maria to be warm, so now I'm using it to keep batteries. The problem that I had today was with the iPad. It had 55% battery, but because of a slight cold, -8 degrees, for some reason it went completely dead. Lucky for me, the drone was near me and I had no problem to land it. But today I'm going to use my 70-200mm f4 lens on a full frame body. It's the Canon 6D, and I will try to find elements that can be seen as one. For example, this entire forest, if you're looking far enough from it, you can see it as only one element. And this is the beauty when doing minimalist photography. It's the way you see the landscape completely changes from when you just shoot the landscape with all its elements. Very few line of composition and just some, if you want, graphics on the white of the snow. So let's begin with the forest because it's the most obvious thing to photograph, and let's see how we frame it, what settings I'm going to use. The line of the forest is pretty flat, and I have to search for a place where this line creates a shape, if you want, a simple shape. Having a flat line, having a composition that has white in the lower part of the frame and black in the upper part can be interesting to look at, but I think works better if you have a certain type of dynamic in the shape of the forest, the place where it intersects that white of the snow. And that is why I'm exploring different possibilities over here to create that dynamic. In terms of settings, I'm going for f8, ISO 100, 120th of a second, and mirror lockup. I think it's very important not to overlook this option of mirror lockup, especially or only when you're photographing using long lens, especially when it's a little bit windy. Just the smallest vibration in the tripod or in the camera at longer focal lengths can create a blurry image. The forest being the interesting element, and the snow being, let's say, a negative space that kind of complements the shape of the forest, or the shape where the forest intersects the snow. Let's find a classic shot, and for that I will search a tree. This is the most simple minimalistic shot that you can do. In the middle of a wide field you have the silhouette of a tree. So let's try and find one. It should not be that hard. Very easy. I found a tree. It's that one over there. In a situation like this, you can very easily break the rule of thirds. This is the moment when you can frame that tree on the middle of the frame. You can do it either on the middle in terms of vertical or in terms of horizontal, or you can go straight in the middle of the frame. But that is the moment when a 1x1 format should be implied. And now I will try to find a third type of shot, and that is some stray lines that are formed by, I don't know, vegetation or simple fences or whatever. It needs to be in the white of the snow. It needs to be some stray lines. The settings are going to be the same. You're going to slightly overexpose because of the white of the snow, and you'll be about half a stop on this light or maximum one stop.